Hello and welcome back to every recap ever. Today we are seeing a fantasy action movie called Avengers Grimm.
Avengers!
No, not the Avengers you're thinking about. Anyways, join our Patreon for unblurred videos and subscribe. Without further ado, let's go. In some alternate world, the kingdom is under the attack by some unknown forces. The main culprit behind the war, Rumpelstiltskin, goes to confront the queen, Snow White. Yeah, that's her actual name. She asks him about King's whereabouts and he breaks the news to her. So apparently Rumpelstiltskin, or let's just call him Rumple, has taken the king's life. Snow thinks he's here to unalive her, but this is not the case. He wants her to show him how to open a portal using the magic mirror to another world, aka the Earth. Why? Because he wants to rule over the Earth. In return, he will spare the kingdom and take his army with him. Snow makes a plan to trick him by opening the portal. As he gets near the portal, she grabs him with her magical ice shard and both of them end up traveling through the portal. Later, other princesses, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Rapunzel enter the throne room to save their queen. Oh, and there's also the Red Riding Hood, who is one of the commoners. I guess the director wanted to ruin our entire childhood. Okay, so Rapunzel finds out that the queen has traveled through the portal. Oh, and did I tell you that there is a time dilation in both worlds? Apparently, time runs faster on Earth. Red does not care about the kingdom, and she is only after one of Rumple's men, Wolf. They quickly open the portal, however Wolf interferes and throws Red into the mirror. The mirror breaks and they all end up traveling through the portal. They arrive on Earth where some cops are capturing a guy. Red has a mirror piece stuck in her wound. Still, she runs after Wolf to unalive him. The cops are a little shocked seeing them arrive out of thin air and try to arrest them. I mean, what else can they do? The princesses quickly knocks both of them using magic. Snow then makes a dashing entry in her car and takes them. So basically, 2 years have passed on the Earth. Snow gets to know about mirror breaking and Red having the piece of it. This worries her. I mean, if Rumple gets his hands on the mirror piece, he'll be able to open the portal and get his army from the other world. On the other side, Red, who is following Wolf and ends up in the local bar. So she gets into a fight with a local gang and somehow manages to escape from them. She takes out the piece of mirror from her wound and realizes it is the part of the mirror. Suddenly, it starts glowing and shows the location of Rumple. Meanwhile, Snow explains the situation to the ladies. So apparently Rumple has become the mayor, and he is currently living in the city hall. He even has all the SWAT team and cops working for him. If he gets the mirror shard, he will take over all the Earth. On the other side, 2 officers from before come to report Rumple. They get the appointment from his assistant, Jessica. Oh, and she completely looks under some kind of spell. They tell him everything from the princess's arrival and Snow White escaping. This angers Rumple and he casts a spell on one of them. He warns the other guy to bring Snow and others at any cost. Other officer then takes the spellbound guy to a hidden place. Apparently, Rumple is building a new army of mind-controlled people in this world. Snow plans to defeat Rumple and go home through the portal. However, their first priority is to find Red. Meanwhile, Red randomly meets a homeless man, but his conversation doesn't make any sense. Later, she gets into a fight with Wolf, but apparently gets caught by the same gang members. They take her to meet their boss, Iron John. On the other side, Snow meets her informant and gets the info that Red was last seen in some local bar. In the bar, they meet the same homeless person and learn about Iron John. So, John thinks Red destroyed his bar. She even tries to explain that it was Wolf, who's a monster in human form. However, he doesn't believe her. I mean, who would? She does some cool maneuvers and runs from their base. Her luck runs out and they all get arrested by the cops. Wolf reunites with Rumple and tells him about the mirror shard and Red. He quickly orders him to retrieve the mirror piece. Meanwhile, cops seal off John's base. Snow and other girls knock them using their magic and try to search Red. Suddenly, a bunch of weird people come to attack them. Cinderella quickly creates a barrier and traps them. Snow comes to the conclusion that they are brainwashed by Rumple. They notice a cop in the group and decide to interrogate him. They remove him from the spell and ask about Red. He doesn't know anything, but he suspects that another officer must have arrested her. Meanwhile, the officer puts Red, John, and the gang members to jail. As the cop leaves, Red takes out the hidden key and frees herself. She even taunts John before going. Yeah, that was unnecessary, I think. Snow and others make a dashing entry and start knocking out officers one by one. The cop learns about Red escaping and alerts the SWAT team for backup. SWAT comes and the action starts. In the end, they finally manage to find Red. Later, they decide to lure Rumple using a mirror as bait and defeat him. However, if anything goes wrong, they promise each other to destroy the mirror piece right there. Wolf manages to track down the ladies and informs Rumple about it. He decides to visit John as he has a grudge against Red. He then uses some kind of spell and turns him into Iron Man.
Go to sleep, go to sleep.
They then come to Snow's hideout. Snow passes the mirror to Cinderella and tells her to run away from the roof, and Rapunzel tries to hold John off while others escape. Meanwhile, Red is fighting Wolf on the roof. It's backstory time. Apparently he wiped her whole family, and she wants to get revenge. Rapunzel gets captured by John and Wolf tries to run away. Red follows him to some weird-looking place. Snow takes the girls to her old base. They make a plan to infiltrate Rumple's building and save Rapunzel, while SB stays behind and guards the mirror. Who is SB? Well, Sleeping Beauty. Oh come on, these names are just cringe. So there's a thing. Apparently Rumple's brainwashing magic doesn't work on the girls as they are protected by the magic. However, that's not the case with Red, because she doesn't have magic. Okay, so Red tries to save a trapped man in that place and gets ambushed by Wolf. Meanwhile, John brings Rapunzel to Rumple's building. She tries to make him understand how Rumple wants to control the world. John wavers for a bit, but decides to ignore her. Rumple comes and asks Jessica to take the day off. He then orders John to guard Rapunzel while he takes care of some different matters. Snow and the gang sees Jessica leaving from the building and they confront her. They take off the spell from her and she comes back to her senses. She realizes that Rumple was using her and teams up with them to take him down. And here I was starting to feel sorry for her. On the other side, Rumple tries to ask Red about the other girls, but Red doesn't utter a word. He starts casting the spell, and it's looking bad for other girls now. One of the cops enters the sewage tunnels to find Snow's base. SB senses the danger and gets ready to attack him. Meanwhile, Snow finally reaches the City Hall building. Cinderella disguises herself as Red and tries to distract John. They successfully get rid of him. The officer at Snow's base hears from the walkie-talkie that the City Hall is under attack and quickly leaves the place. SB gets worried about the girls and tries to ask Mirror about their location. However, she doesn't know how to control its powers. So it backfires and she falls unconscious. Snow and Cinderella manage to save Rapunzel and they move to the upper floor to face Rumple. However, he's not in the building. So Jessica quickly asks the girls to leave before the security comes. She will distract them and later disable the security system so that they can enter the building again. Pretty clever, I would say. At the Snow's base, a hooded silhouette takes the mirror. It turns out to be Red, who's under Rumple's spell. Snow and others come to the scene, but she attacks them with a smoke arrow and escapes. Later, Jessica learns that Rumple has arrived and immediately texts Snow. She then shuts down the security. Red sees her and tries to attack her, but John comes in her way. John is not okay with this situation. He doesn't want to work alongside Red. However, Rumple threatens him to follow his orders. When he learns that Red has attacked Jessica, he quickly unalives her. Why? Well, those who are under the spell only attack the people who are their enemy. In short, he deduces that Jessica is no longer under his spell. Rumple then opens the portal and orders John to protect it. Now, one by one, his army starts coming from the portal. Snow and the others learn that the portal is open, so they get into the fight with the army. Rumple orders Wolf to protect the building while he sends Red to unalive her friends. Snow and her friends decide to split up. One team will close the portal and the other will attack the building. However, Red gets in their way. So Cinderella decides to fight her while the others follow the plan. The fight starts. Her goal is not to take down Red, but to take off the spell. Rapunzel arrives near the portal. She tries to convince John about Rumple's plan. Even John knows that he's wrong, and deep down he is feeling guilty of destroying his own city and his own people. He finally admits his mistake and decides to help her in closing the portal. He asks her to take his men and leave the place, while he takes down the wall with him. Meanwhile, Snow and SB reach the lobby and easily take care of the armed men. They go upstairs and see Jessica lying on the floor. Rumple finally enters the scene and the fight starts. He easily defeats Snow using the mirror, while Wolf takes care of the other girl. He then takes Snow to his office and tries to give her a final chance. If she agrees to be his queen and stay behind, he'll let other princesses return to their world. He can open as many portals as he can with the mirror shard. Meanwhile, Red arrives with unconscious Cinderella. They trick Wolf and Red finally gets her revenge. She is no longer under his spell. All the ladies shake hands and get ready to close this Rumple chapter once and for all. As they reach, Rumple threatens them by taking Snow as a hostage. He gives them a deal by opening a portal to their homeland. If they leave this place, he will let Snow live. Suddenly, Snow makes an ice spear stab herself and Rumple along with it. With the last-ditch effort, he tries to run away in the portal, but Rapunzel catches him by her whip. However, the situation seems dire. SB doesn't think much and just destroys the mirror. Rumple gets stuck in the portal and dies. Oh, and now they all are stuck in this world. So in the end, the city is safe now. All those people who were being mind-controlled come to their senses. Snow, with her last breath, asks the ladies to protect this world, as they are now part of it. Snow's body then starts freezing. Few days later, we see the place where Snow's body is kept. Suddenly, she wakes up.